All right, so Peter King, we have to get into what he said here. So he picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl and picked Stafford to win MVP with 6,000 yards passing. All right, let's hear it, Adam.
All right, so let's start with Peter King. Peter King, well-respected, writer. He's been around the league for a long time. I will say in the last 5 years, Peter King has picked one of the teams correctly in the Super Bowl. This year, he just so happened to pick the Rams versus the Bills, with the Rams winning. I think he's wrong. I think he's totally
not incredibly crazy, is what
he's
you're about
not
to say.
incredibly crazy, but I think he's wrong. He's got one of the teams wrong.
Yeah.
I think the Bills are actually the team that wins the Super Bowl this year. I think it's their year, but let's focus on what he said about the Rams and Stafford. Well, Peter, that means Matthew Stafford needs to average 353 yards and play in every single game this year for the Los Angeles Rams to eclipse 6,000 yards. It's funny to me how the media chooses who they want to fall in love with. Matthew Stafford in Detroit? He's in Detroit. Bunch of losers. Goes to LA. The second coming. The second coming, guys. This guy is going to take us from here to here. Now, is Stafford better than Goff? Yes. Can he do more things with the football than Goff? Sure. May I remind you, this is the same Matthew Stafford that is 8-64 against winning football teams. The same Matthew Stafford that now in LA will be playing against three very good football teams, being the San Francisco 49ers, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Seattle Seahawks. So his division alone is going to be the most difficult part of his schedule throughout the year. And as much as I sit up here and say Jared Goff is a bridge quarterback, and I'm not a fan of him and as the future quarterback of Detroit, I will defend him now and say the Rams won 10 games last year with Jared Goff, the quote-unquote bad quarterback that you all like to say, I think. But regardless, they're only now set at 10.5 wins. Now, Vegas plays their matchups in a way where they can basically get a 50-50 bet on each side. So you can't take their word, their bet verbatim as like this is what it means. But you're telling me you upgrade at quarterback, you bring back the defense that was top in scoring and top overall, and you're only a half game better? Like, I have some concern. I don't think Stafford is gonna over deliver like people say he will in Los Angeles. I don't think he's that good. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think he was a franchise quarterback in Detroit, given his availability, his consistent play. Now, whether or not you liked his play, he was still consistent at what he did. He made dud mistakes. He could never close the deal against winning teams, and that's why you never won a division, and why you only had, 4 winning seasons under Matthew Stafford in 12 years? So you're telling me with a franchise guy, I can win, or not win, I can have a winning record every 3 years? It doesn't seem right to me. Stafford's in the best position he's ever been in, and I will give him that. The best defense he's ever been supported by, I'll give him that. I like the wide receiving core. It's dynamic. I like Sean McVay more than any head coach he's had previously. But this is still Matthew Stafford. And until he proves it, until he proves that he's that guy, I will not sit up here and say it's a game changer. He's going to win MVP. They're going to be in the Super Bowl. No, my friend. You have a lot to prove. And the narrative goes one of two ways, Matthew. Either you could not overcome the dysfunction in Detroit, and it was so bad that when you went to just a functional organization, boom, everything was better. And then, okay, the narrative is off of Stafford. He was always very good. He was just surrounded by garbage. Cool. That is how one scenario could play out. The other, and the likely scenario, is Stafford's just a good quarterback with a very good arm. And he doesn't have that leadership intangible to get you over the edge. And you really kind of gave up way too much to get him. And that's good for the Lions, don't get me wrong. But whoever said the Lions defense in 2014 was better than the Legion of Boom, just leave the chat. Just stop. Jesus Christ. Jesus, come on, Ryan. You're better than this. But anyways, Stafford, I don't think... Is he an MVP candidate? Sure. Cam Akers going out means he has to throw the ball more. I'm sure he'll put up the numbers. I'm sure he'll eclipse 5,000 yards. But 6 is a bit much. Especially with a quarterback that has proven he can throw double-digit interceptions basically every single year. So I'm not gonna get oversold on the hype train in Los Angeles with Matthew Stafford. I do think they're a better team now with him. Are they NFC contenders? Absolutely. They have a great defense. They have a great head coach. Now they have a quarterback. Good. They have a good quarterback who can be very good. But is he going to win you the big games? Is he going to go away to Seattle and win? Is he going to go away to San Francisco and win? Is he going to be able to win in the playoffs? He's 0-3. He hasn't scored a touchdown in the last 7 quarters of playoff football. Be very careful, LA. And be very careful, national media, what you're asking for. Because I do agree he's in the best situation he's ever been in. But that doesn't change who you are. Unless he proves otherwise, I can't buy into any of this. Sorry.
If we're going to listen to the media, it's a year of a lot of firsts for Matthew Stafford. A Super Bowl, MVP, a playoff win. Like, he moves franchises, and it's a year of all new possibilities, which I agree. He'll be in the playoffs this year, but to say he'll pass for 6,000 yards and win MVP, it's just... I don't want to say incredibly unlikely, but it's very unlikely. Like a little slightly below that. I just don't see it. I agree. Maybe 5,000 yards is achievable, but 6,000 in an offense like Sean McVay's, where when did this offense turn into a pass every down offense? I can't remember. I mean, they've never had a guy like Matthew Stafford who could sling the rock like he can, but it doesn't matter. They have Darrell Henderson. They just traded for Sony Michel. They're still going to run the play action, and like Adam said, he's going to have to average 350 yards a game. Like, that is incredibly unlikely. So it is what it is. Peter King, the guy knows football, and the respect for Matthew Stafford is there amongst a bunch of people. The Dan Orlovskis, obviously the Peter Kings, but you got to look at the facts. Like, Matthew Stafford, he struggled, especially come playoff time. So get this man in the regular season. I'm sure he's going to ball out. He's going to have upwards of 20-something touchdowns, around 9-10 picks. He'll have a great season, 5,000 yards possibly. But to win MVP, you're essentially saying he's going to be more significantly important than a McVay, than the Aaron Donalds of the world, the Jalen Ramseys, that defense. Like, it's unlikely. I mean, there's too many things I could pull an argument and say, well, you could credit this for its success. You can credit this. If to say Matthew Stafford is going to win MVP and pass for 6,000, it's incredibly unlikely. And
it's quite the bold prediction.
It's a bold prediction. It's almost as bold as the Zach Wilson one. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? I respect Matthew Stafford. I'm not going to sit here and hate on him, but in my opinion, if I'm a betting man, he's not passing for 6,000.
Yeah, 6,000. I mean, it's basically transcending. It's never been done.
Yeah.
So to even do that is.
I don't think I'll say this. Obviously, 6,000. I don't think we'll get close to 6,000. I think we'll get low 5,000. I think it's possible. I think that's achievable. But to get at 5,800, 5,900, 5,700 is just like, wow. He's going to have to, pass attempts are going to be through the roof every single game. I just don't see it in this offense, and I think the defense is going to be very valuable to Matthew Stafford this year. I think Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey are going to make some plays for him when he makes some mistakes. But yeah, I don't see him winning MVP at all. I don't see it.
The cards are in Stafford's hands now. He controls the narrative from this point on. The narrative in Matthew Stafford's career after these 2 years will be he was just a good quarterback who could never, ever, ever consider being great. He was just good. He had great arm talent, and that was about it. He couldn't get it done in Detroit. He couldn't get it done in Los Angeles. Didn't matter. He's just a quarterback that couldn't get it done. Now, if he goes to LA and he balls out during the regular season, he balls out in the playoffs, they get to an NFC championship game, they potentially win it, and they win 1 or 2 in the next 2 years. Okay. Like, maybe it was Detroit. But I may remind people, he also did have a top 5 defense one given year. Granted, it was only 1 year, but he did have moments. Mm-hmm. But again, that's where I like the head coach he has now compared to what he was working with prior. So Stafford, whether you like him or not, and I'm on the fence of, I don't think he's it. Or at least I don't think what they're making him out to be. But still, you can't argue he's in the best situation he's ever been in. And with that being said, he's never had more of an opportunity to succeed and win championships. It's that simple. I mean, ideally, the first starting point would be to win a division, considering he has 0 of those, and then a playoff game. But we'll see. We'll see how the season plays out. He plays through injury. I'm not too worried about him getting through the year.
Right.
I think it's a good marriage with him and McVay. I think it'll work. To what extent, I don't know. Just based off Stafford's history, I don't think he's what this national media outlets are making him out to be. I don't think he's the messiah, the guy that's going to come in and change your fortunes. No, he's just a stable, good quarterback. He's Kirk Cousins with a better arm. He just is. Now, he could prove us all wrong, but until he does that, the narrative is what it is, and it's not going to change.
Can I ask you a question? So, obviously, the Rams, there's a lot of position groups that the Rams are better than the Lions, clearly. But if you look at the offensive line, I would think we can mutually agree the Lions probably have a better offensive line right now than the Rams. Do you think that'll play any factor in Matthew Stafford this season?
No, I think the offensive line in Los Angeles is a top 12, top 10. So, I would say just as good. I don't think the Lions have a significantly better offensive line. But
because they lost their center to Green Bay, I believe.
Yes.
And then they got Whitworth. He's older. I mean, they got a couple guys okay. Do you think that'll have any effect on Stafford? People say, you never had an offensive line. The guy was getting smacked all the time. But this year with the Rams, it's what are we doing? I mean, how better? He doesn't have a Frank Ragnow. He doesn't have a
I'm not looking there. I'm looking at they have a defense that'll finish top 5 in the league this year, given Aaron Donald. And
but he also had
pieces.
A defense before.
Well, yeah, but that defense also shit the bed in the playoffs.
Aaron Donald in that Green Bay game.
Let's be very look. I'm not sitting up here defending Stafford. I'm just telling you that he's in a better situation than he's ever been in. Whether you want to agree or not, it's just the reality. Whether you like it or not, he's with the best head coach he's ever had. Whether you'd like to admit it or not. Oh, he had Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell is the best Lions coach ever. Shut up and take that loser mindset somewhere else. The team is in a rebuild right now regarding the Lions. It's year 1. Let's see the team develop. And hopefully by year 2, they win 7, 8, 9 games. And then year 3, they can actually compete for a division. That would be ideal. I think that's how it plays out. That's how it's played out for many teams in the NFL. Now, you want to be delusional and put 10-win expectations? That's fine. But don't you dare come to me at the end of the year when they don't win 10 games and say, well, at least they won 6 or 5 or 7. It's better than Matt Patricia. Shut up. Just shut up.
All right. Well, we got to take a break.